The auto shop was supposed to close at 6 p.m., but it was already 7:30 when Jake Martinez heard the desperate knock on the glass door. He'd been cleaning up, ready to head home to his small apartment and another night of instant ramen, when he saw her. A young woman in pink scrubs, stethoscope still around her neck, looking exhausted and on the verge of tears. Jake was 28, working 2 jobs to pay off his late father's medical debts while trying to save enough to finally open his own shop. His boss had left an hour ago, trusting Jake to lock up. The smart thing would be to point her to the 24-hour chain garage 3 miles away. But something about her desperate expression made him unlock the door. "I'm so sorry," she said immediately, words tumbling out. "I know you're closed. I saw your light still on and my car died in your parking lot. I'm a nurse at County Hospital. I just finished a double shift, and I have to be back in 6 hours for another 12-hour shift, and I don't know anything about cars and—" Her voice cracked. "Hey, it's okay. Breathe." Jake gave her a tired smile. "Let me take a look. No promises, but I'll see what I can do." Relief flooded her face. "Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Emma, by the way. Emma Torres." "Jake, let's see what's wrong with your car." Emma's vehicle was a 15-year-old Honda Civic with bald tires and a worrying collection of dashboard warning lights. When Jake popped the hood, he immediately saw the problem: a broken serpentine belt, and from the looks of the engine, several other issues waiting to happen. "Okay, good news and bad news," Jake said, wiping his hands on a rag. "Good news, I can fix the immediate problem tonight. Bad news, this belt broke because your tensioner pulley is shot. I can replace the belt, but without fixing the pulley, it'll just break again in a few days. And honestly, your battery's almost dead, your brake pads are dangerously thin, and your coolant system is leaking." Emma's face fell. "How much would all that cost?" "With parts and labor, probably $1,200. She closed her eyes, and Jake saw a tear slip down her cheek. "I don't have $1,200. I barely have $100. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm drowning in student loans. I just started this job 3 months ago. I'm living in my friend's spare room because I can't afford my own place yet." Jake knew that feeling. The drowning, the constant calculation of which bill could wait another week, the weight of debt that never seemed to get lighter. "Okay," he heard himself say. "Here's what we're going to do. I'll fix the belt tonight so you can get home and to work tomorrow. No charge. And I'll order the parts for the other repairs at cost. You can pay me back whenever you can, whatever you can afford. $10 a month if that's all you've got. Deal?" Emma stared at him. "You don't even know me. Why would you do that?" "Because I've been where you are. Because you're clearly a good person who works hard and deserves a break. Because it's late, and I'm apparently feeling philosophical." Jake managed a crooked smile. "And because I'm assuming nurses do important work that society drastically underpays them for, and your patients need you to actually make it to the hospital." Emma's voice broke. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll sit in the waiting area and rest while I work. You look dead on your feet." It took Jake 90 minutes to replace the belt and do a quick patch on the coolant leak, enough to buy her time. When he brought the car around, Emma was asleep in the waiting room chair, her stethoscope still around her neck. "Emma," he said softly, "you're all set." She jolted awake, disoriented. "Oh God, I'm sorry." "Don't be, you needed the rest." Jake handed her the keys. "You're good to go. Drive safe. And seriously, whenever you can afford it, come back and we'll fix the rest. No rush." Emma took the keys, then did something unexpected. She hugged him. "Thank you. You have no idea what this means. I was so scared I'd lose this job, and I've worked so hard to get here, and—" She pulled back, wiping her eyes. "Thank you." "Anytime. Take care of yourself, Nurse Torres." Jake watched her drive away, then locked up the shop and went home, wondering if he'd just made a terrible business decision. $1,200 in parts and labor, reduced to a vague promise of pay when you can. His accountant would kill him. But something about helping her had felt right in a way nothing had felt right in a long time. 2 weeks passed. Jake had almost forgotten about Emma Torres when she walked into the shop on a Saturday afternoon. She was in regular clothes this time, jeans and a sweater, and she looked less exhausted than before. "Jake, I was hoping you'd be here." "Emma, hey, how's the car running?" "Fine so far, but I know the other repairs need to be done." She pulled out an envelope. "I can pay you $200 today. I picked up some extra shifts. It's not much, but that's great. More than I expected." Jake took the envelope, surprised. "You didn't have to rush." "Actually, I'm not here just about the money." Emma's expression turned serious. "Can we talk?" They sat in the waiting area, and Emma pulled out her phone. "After you helped me, I felt so grateful but also so frustrated. Because I see this all the time. People who deserve help but can't afford it. Patients who skip medications because they're too expensive, families bankrupted by medical bills, and I thought, what if there was a way to help?" She showed him her phone screen, a crowdfunding page with his shop's name and his photo. "I told your story about how you stayed late to help a stranger, how you're working to pay off your father's medical debts while trying to save for your own shop, how you did hundreds of dollars of work for free because you believed in helping people." Jake's stomach dropped. "Emma, I didn't do it for publicity." "I know. That's exactly why people responded." Emma scrolled through the page. "Look, $47,000 raised in 2 weeks. From nurses who've seen mechanics price gouge desperate women. From people who've been helped by strangers and wanted to pay it forward. From those who believe good people deserve good things." Jake couldn't process the number. $47,000? That's enough to pay off your father's debts and have seed money for your own shop, right? Emma's smile was brilliant. "You gave me hope when I had none. You treated me with dignity when I felt desperate. This is me and all these other people returning the favor." "I can't accept this." "Yes, you can. Read the comments." Emma pulled up the page. "This mechanic represents everything good about humanity. We need more people like Jake Martinez in the world, supporting small businesses that support their communities." Jake's eyes burned as he read through dozens of comments, people thanking him for restoring their faith in humanity, people sharing their own stories of strangers who'd helped them, people insisting he'd take the money and use it to keep helping others. "There's a condition," Emma said. "Several donors specified that you have to use some of this money to continue helping people who are struggling. Maybe a pay-it-forward program where people in need can get basic repairs and pay what they can afford." Jake couldn't speak. He just nodded, tears streaming down his face. "You changed my life that night," Emma said softly. "I was so close to breaking. I'd been thinking maybe I'd made a mistake becoming a nurse. Maybe I should quit and find something that paid better. Maybe I wasn't cut out for this. But you showed me that kindness still exists, that good people still help each other. You reminded me why I became a nurse in the first place. To help people, regardless of whether they can pay." "I just fixed a belt." "You did so much more than that. You saw me as a person, not a transaction. You trusted me when you had no reason to. You gave me hope." Emma squeezed his hand. "Now let us give you the same thing." 6 months later, Jake stood in front of his newly opened shop. "Martinez Auto Care, honest service, fair prices, help when you need it." The grand opening was packed with people, many of them strangers who donated to Emma's crowdfunding campaign and wanted to see what their money had built. Emma was there too, of course, with a group of nurses from County Hospital. They'd become friends over the months, meeting for coffee, talking about the stress of their jobs, the satisfaction of helping people, the struggle to make ends meet while doing work that mattered. "You know what the best part is?" Emma said, watching Jake explain his pay-it-forward program to potential customers. "You're still the same person. You could have taken that money and splurged, but instead you built something that helps people, just like I knew you would." "I learned from the best," Jake said, "a nurse who turned a simple car repair into a community movement." "A mechanic who proved that kindness isn't dead," Emma countered. Jake looked around his shop, the shop he'd dreamed of for years but never thought he could afford. His father's medical debts were paid off. He had 6 employees, all people he'd trained himself, all committed to the same principle of fair prices and honest service. He had a waiting area with free coffee and a community board where people posted about other local businesses that had helped them, and he had a special program. Anyone who came in wearing medical scrubs, nurses, paramedics, CNAs, got a 25% discount. It was his way of honoring Emma and all the healthcare workers who gave so much for so little recognition. "I stayed late to fix a car," Jake said, still marveling at how his life had changed. "That's all I did." "You stayed late to help a person," Emma corrected. "You saw someone struggling and decided their struggle mattered. You gave without expecting anything back. That's not just fixing a car. That's being the kind of human being the world desperately needs." Jake pulled out his phone and showed Emma a text he'd received that morning. "Mr. Martinez, thank you for fixing my mom's car last week and letting her pay $20 a month. She's a single mom with 3 kids, and you gave her hope. You're a real-life hero. Jessica." "That's why you did this," Jake said. "That message, that mom who can now get to work, that's worth more than any profit margin." Emma smiled. "Exactly. You're just paying forward what was given to you, just like I did, just like all those donors did. That's how it's supposed to work." As the grand opening celebration continued, Jake thought about that night 7 months ago, exhausted, cleaning up the shop, wanting to go home, hearing that desperate knock on the door. The easiest thing would have been to pretend he hadn't heard it, to walk away, to protect his own interests. Instead, he'd opened the door to a stranger, and that stranger had opened a door for him in return. A door to a better life, yes, but more importantly, a door to understanding that kindness multiplied, that help given was help returned, that one small act of compassion could ripple outward in ways you'd never imagine. A mechanic had stayed late to help a young nurse, and she'd helped him build a legacy of service that would help thousands more. That was the real repair, not the serpentine belt, but 2 people's faith in humanity, restored in a quiet shop on a late night when someone chose kindness over convenience. And that was worth more than all the money in the world.